All right, how's it going? My name is David. I'll be doing a quick demo of Branda. So in this process, I'm going to just simply show how do you create a logo from the start and show you how quick it is and show you some of the features and some of the how-tos that are involved here. So let's begin. So first and foremost, you have a dashboard of all your projects. So they will appear here. You have some of your settings in this screen here. You can go and adjust anything you need there. For this screen, you can always see your tokens, and if you want to upgrade, it would always be housed there. And so yeah, so let me jump in and start a new project. So here you have an option to either start from scratch or pull in your brand. You can put in your actual website, and it will give you a few options. Let's say full rebrand, keep the logo, or keep the brand. And so that's that. Or if you have a logo already and you want to use it in Branda, you can just upload it here, and you'll be able to use it to generate things. Start from scratch is the other option, and that's where if you want to start a whole new brand. So we're going to be doing that today. If you don't have a name, you can toggle this on, and it will suggest names for you, and we're going to do that for this experiment. And then you just explain what your brand actually does. So here we're going to do organic cat food. So let's see what that looks like. All right, so here you have two options. You can click the I feel lucky button, and that's going to go to actual generating the final brand, or you click the next process, which is going to go to strategy. So we're going to do that first. Right here you have the option of, right now it's untitled. So the next tab, we're going to do the naming. So here you have the option of like adjusting some of your attributes, like how you want it to be for the specific brand. Here you can select your archetype. So let's say if it's caregiver, hero, innocent, you kind of pick the one that fits best, and it gives you some ideas of which existing companies have that already as their archetype. And if you scroll down, you basically do your positioning, and each one has where you can generate, and it will use a very smart model to generate some of this for you. Or you can just click this button here, and that's what we're going to do, and it's just going to generate all this automatically, and then we can adjust. So here we have it auto generated. Since I already had these adjusted, it did leave these alone, but typically these would get adjusted as well. But we can go ahead and kind of maybe give it some attributes of our own. And then here, as you can see, it went ahead and generated all these different things for the actual brand, and it's already bringing in some competitors, some brand voice, goals, and you can adjust all that. Once you're done here, you go to finalize, and it opens up the naming tab. So here you would click generate 8 names. All right, so here are the results, some of the names that it came up with, and what you can do here is, let's say you like a few of them, you can keep generating. So you can, let's say this is the one it recommended, Nurio, and then there's let's say we like this one and we like that one. So those are going to show up here all the time, and you can generate more. But just for this experiment, we can let's go ahead and proceed with Nurio. That's what it recommended, so let's do it. And then for the next steps, you're on the visual. So here you pick a visual direction. So we have already preloaded about 50 visual directions you can pick from. And these were professionally composed by our design agency. And what we can do, what you could do also is upload your own. So you can actually upload your own mood board, your own references in case there's something more specific that you're looking for. Or you can completely ignore this step and just let AI pick its own direction, and it's going to just do its own thing. So we're going to do that for this presentation here. So here's this logo phase. So logo phase is composed of two phases, the logo tab. So the first one is sketch, and then there's vectorize. So we're gonna go ahead and start sketching. So now what it's doing is taking everything it knows that you've put into the strategy, the name that you picked, everything, and it's gonna start putting together 9 concepts for you to pick through or keep iterating on. So let's see what it gives us. All right, so here they are loading in. So here we have, as you can see, good, clean 9 concepts. And to be honest, some of these look really great. So it's really a matter of what do we like. And for this presentation, let's go ahead and do like some variations of some of these. To be honest, they're all pretty nice. I feel like this one's really clean, the leaf itself. Let's go with the leaf, just for showing the variation. So you can say, give me more ideas around this one. Maybe different cat pose or angles. So let's see what it does. So here, that's the beauty of Branda, is you can customize, like you can add context to what you want for each specific sketch or vector. So it's going to kind of form it the way you want it. All right, so as you can see here, it's giving me even more, just different poses of the cat. Really cool. If that's something we like, and we can keep iterating, and then you can go back to your previous generations. So we're going to go ahead and just pick one. Let's go with this one. I think that one works. So now you're brought to the vectorize stage. And here it's not really vectorizing. It's just creating designs that look like vectors, although you could add some color to it as well. So there's a color tab, and then there's a black and white. Black and white usually gives you cleaner lines if you want more of a 1 or 2 color logo. Here, you're kind of creating more of like a full-blown color. So I think in this case, I want to keep it simple. So let's keep it black, and then we're going to go ahead and generate. And then you can always go back. Let's say this one's just not working out. You can go back and change it here. So you can go ahead and, again, just go through this whole process, and until you find, let's say you want to try this one out or that one, or you want to keep iterating. So you can always go back here. Okay, so here we go. We have some really cool vector looking logos, and they all look really good. I would say, you kind of pick the one you like best, or again, you can keep iterating. So you can do the same thing, add context, and it will create more. But we're going to go ahead and pick this one. This one looks pretty clean. Once you select one, you basically identify, okay, is it a symbol with a name together? Is it just a symbol, or is it just typography? This really just helps structure the whole brand kit. And you can always kind of adjust it later. So, but yeah, definitely pick the one that, is applicable. This one is just a symbol. So then you go ahead and finalize the logo shape. Once you finalize, so there are tokens here. And the reason for that is it's vectorizing. So there's a whole process of vectorization. And then you get basically a whole generation. So I'm gonna go ahead and click that, and you're gonna see it's gonna bring us to, actually first we're gonna, because we selected just the icon. So now we're gonna edit this first. So we're gonna go ahead and edit the actual text. So the size, the spacing. So let's say we want it closer together. You can go ahead and select the font you want. I don't know, let's try that one. Get the letters closer together. Let's make it like that. Make that a little smaller. So yeah, so that looks good. And then you can adjust the vertical as well, the lockup. You just want to get it in a good spot. I mean, that looks pretty good right there. Let's line it up with that T. There we go. Actually, we can maybe even have it stick out from the U. I think that's fine. Whatever. Okay, this is just a presentation. Here you can adjust the name if you want to add or remove a certain part of it. You can stack, if you have double words, you can stack them together. And then you can do an all caps right here. It would turn into all caps, which looks pretty good too. But we'll keep it like this. So go ahead and click save on the bottom. It's kind of cut off here. Let me move it up. There we go. Okay, so as we were doing the lockup, it was already working. So it was already generating, and it was kind of pulling in different fonts. It was creating its own fonts, which is kind of cool. So we could always extract, a different type of logo. So if you don't like, let's say you don't like this logo here, you can click the lockup here, the button, and you can unlock the logo from here. So that way you can, let's say you just really like this font. Let me zoom in on this. Let's say this just looks great. You can go ahead and do that. But yeah, so as you can see, it's generated us some really cool ideas and concepts, and you can keep generating. So if I just click visualize brand from here, it would just go ahead and create another 3 variation concepts based off of this. So what we're looking at here is your visual prompt. So once you start locking things in and improving things, you can actually add it to this visual prompter, which anything here in this section is going to get sent visually to the AI to take as a reference, almost like an inspirational visual, along with whatever you type in the text, or if you leave it blank, it's going to kind of work off of what you have locked in. So let's go ahead with this. I kind of like these patterns here. And again, you don't have to just pick one. You can extract things. So I'll show you in a minute here. But let's say we like the color palette here. So we're going to go ahead and lock in the, at this point, we can only do the color palette. So we're going to go ahead and lock in the color palettes. You just do that. You select each one. Let's say you don't want this one. You can select the different green. So this is like a eyedrop picker, color picker here. So you can go ahead and save the brand colors. And as you can see, the brand colors have been updated. It's selected a font that it thinks is relative. And then it has it updated the actual logo there, color. So if you go here, you're going to see your brand kit kind of starting to form, which is really cool. So you have your primary, you have your black and reversed. You have your horizontal and vertical lockups, thumbnail. And what's cool here is, let's say you're just not liking certain things and you want to, this turned out pretty good, but let's say you want to adjust some colors. You can go ahead and play with the colors a bit, as you can see. And it can adjust the colors for you. So we're going to keep it the way it was. You can also switch to the full logo. So let's say you want just the whole logo as your thumbnail. That works too. And then here, as like this is your main symbol. So right now, basically there's a button here that pops up that you can adjust the main symbol. So you can rebuild the logo here as well. So if there's something you don't like about the logo, you can go ahead and regenerate it from this screen. But keep in mind, it does cost credits. So that's going to be only because it's recreating everything, re-vectorizing it all. And then you have the color palette. You can adjust and save colors from here. And then here you want to select, let's say, Montserrat font. Let's go with that one. Okay. And as you can see, like we switched the font, so it's going to appear in here. So yeah, so at this point now we can go ahead and, let's say we like something, we can go ahead and extract it. So you would click the extract button, select the items you like. And this is like a pretty simple shape. So what you can do is you can save this as a SVG, especially if you're going to use it in other places. If you want to extract it, like bring it into Figma, this is definitely a good idea. And you can add notes. So we can say zoom out a bit just to show more of the texture, for example. So, and what it's going to do is vectorize this, but you can select multiple regions. Let's say I just really like this one here. Okay, it's kind of getting cut off. I think it'll be fine. So here we have that cool logo mark on there. So we're going to just keep it as a image. And let's say we want to extract. So we want to go ahead and spend the tokens and extract it. And it's going to basically open up in your brand kit down here. So as you can see, they're loading in. So one of them will be the PNG of the cat. The other one will be the actual pattern vectorizer. So sorry, SVG that it's vectorizing. So yeah. So one thing to note is this text isn't quite fitting right now because this was like before we selected the main word mark. So we're going to go ahead and re-visualize it. Just click that button and let's see what it does. All right. So here we got the actual brands coming in now with the right font, now that we changed it. And as you can see, yeah, it's looking really good. It's picking some of the fonts that we like, especially on some of the marketing that's happening. It's using the colors that we have designated here. and the packaging's starting to look good. Because we saved some of that style right here, it's starting to incorporate some of that style, although we can eventually add it to the image. So if you remember, this was being generated right here. It's still being vectorized, but eventually we can add that pattern into the visual prompt, and that's going to help direct some of the graphics. But here, yeah, I'm starting. I really like this one, right, as a photo. Really love this pattern as well. Maybe we can even SVG that one. Why not? This one is really cool as a product shot, and I can say zoom out, add a kitty, right? So we can do stuff like that. So it's not like I mean, it's whatever you can imagine, right? So it's not limited to anything. So we're gonna go ahead and extract that, and if we go back to the brand kit, as you can see, everything is starting to appear here. So now let's go back here. But yeah, now we can have some fun with it. So now we can say, if you want ideas, you can open things up here. But let's just go with the landing page. Let's see what it does with the landing page. And if you like something, for example, let's say some of this stuff, like this mockup. So the mockup appears here as well. So you can actually select the mockup, and it's going to give the AI a reference of, kind of like the theme and style you like. It might even use that pattern. So we're going to go ahead and visualize it, and let's see what it does. All right, so they're starting to come in, and as you can see, it's using that image from the mockup. You can actually tell it not to if you just wanted to do something super unique, but it's really cool to see the, the different ideas, even the icons that are starting to come in. It is using that pattern that I thought it might. Down here, again, this is like super rough conceptual, right? The ideas are rolling in, and those are things that you can drop into Figma and use as inspiration for your project. But yeah, so here, we have some icons coming in and all that stuff. So really cool. And what you could do is also just start liking some things. Let's say we just want to like that one, let's say. And so from this point, what you could do is, let's say you want an icon set. Let's say you really like this icon set. So we've already saved it. So if you open this, we've saved that image. We liked it. So what we can do is replace it with this one. And now we can just say, hey, give me an icon set, right? So let's see what it does. We're going to create an icon set, and hopefully it will look like that one. So, okay, so here's the icon set. A little different from the actual image above, but these are really cool. And if you do want them inside a circle or anything, you can definitely say that, and it'll save it. But yeah, let's go ahead and like one of them. And if you want an SVG of this, so what you would have to do is just select this, click SVG here, check mark that on, done, and just extract it. And so now you're going to have a nice clean SVG of those icons, and you can bring those into Figma, and they're beautiful. Obviously there might be some imperfections, but those are things you can adjust in Figma. But yeah, so here's let's do something fun here. Let's try like let's do some more product shots. It's packagings. So this, again, you can adjust this. You don't have to do 2x2 grid. We're going to go ahead and do it just to see what it looks like. And then we can do packaging concepts of the actual cat food. Matches one of the brand colors. So yeah, so you can get as creative as you want with these prompts. To be honest, there's really no right or wrong, but let's see what it does. All right, so here are the results. Not a huge fan of how this turned out. It's not bad, but it seems like it's coming a little off brand. And the reason for that is because we didn't select the right packaging. So let's say we wanted that packaging here. Yeah, as you can see, some of the stuff is already appearing here. Those icons, these are SVGs, very clean looking. Anything more complex, it kind of starts, could mess up on a few of the details. That's where you probably have to take it into Figma and adjust. This image turned out great. So we're going to go ahead and rerun it with this packaging. We're going to add that into the visual prompter. So we added it here. So now if we click this rerun, it's just going to add it back to here, to the prompt. And instead of 2x2, let's just do one photo of packaging concept of the actual cat food. Okay, let's try that out. All right, so as you can see, things are starting to come in, and it's matching pretty well. So let's go ahead and open that up. And if you were wanting to do some edits on the packaging, you can actually do that as well, and I'll show you that in a bit. But as you can see, the logos are being used everywhere, the proper text, fonts, colors. The prompt is actually working really well, exactly what I'm looking for. Let's say we want a little more yellow, we can use this one. But yeah, let's go ahead and save a few of these. And whenever you save something, it does appear in your brand kit on the bottom. So this is where all the mockups will be saved. And let's say you really like this image, you can go ahead and upscale it from here. Let's do a 2x, and it's going to show up up here in your extracted. Also, let's say you wanted to adjust some of the packaging design. So let's say you really like this, but there's something about it, it's just not hitting the spot. You can go ahead and come in here and just give it like a more context. And so whenever you fill this out, it's going to use this image and it's going to recreate it with whatever you're going to tell it to. And then this is a higher res. As you can see, the quality is looking a lot better. So those are ways you can enhance some of the photos. Okay, so next, let's go ahead and let's do a trade show booth design. Keep it pro and editorial style. People and maybe cats on the booth or on the stands for fun. let's see what it does. So here you want to be mindful of like, okay, if you already have an imagery style, you know, you can go with it. We don't really have anything right now. I want to go ahead and leave this in here, I think, because it will give us some booth ideas. Maybe some of the icons. Oh, so let's put the icons in there. Let's put this in there. And this will kind of help style the booth itself. So again, you don't need to have these, but if you're not going to have ideas with the like a visual prompt, you're going to get stuff like this where it's a slightly off brand that you're hoping for. So let's go ahead and generate that and see what it comes back with. All right, the results are in, and it's looking really good. Like, I'm surprised. So you can zoom in on it and kind of get an idea of what it looks like. So really cool ideas here. You know, very professional, modern, and clean. Really matching the brand. I mean, look, it even took that illustration from the packaging and they put it on the booth. You know, different products here. I mean, this is just amazing. I would call this a 10 out of 10. Sometimes we'll get a 7 out of 10, an 8, but this one is just hit the nail on the head. So really love this design and everything. And to be honest, I don't even know which one I would save. I think I would just, this is where, you know, they're all so good. You don't really know which one to go with. Maybe let's remove that one. Okay. But yeah, so that's kind of in a nutshell, how to use Branda. Obviously these are ideas, but you can literally do whatever your heart desires, you know, whether you want, maybe you want a delivery food truck, client truck in the background. I don't know. Let's try that. Let's see what it does. All right, so it's starting to come in. As you can see, you know, it's using the references that I put in. I think maybe it's too much, right? So what we could do is rerun it, and perhaps we can do something that's a little bit less, that just feels a little overly branded. But yeah, you can adjust it. You can tell it to do different things. You can add another image for reference, maybe that booth design or something, just to make it a little bit cleaner. But yeah, as you can see, this is working really well. We can go ahead and like one of them. And yeah, so this is basically it with the visual prompter. You can hide your visual prompt if it's in your way. You just want to kind of explore freely. And then if you ever want to change your logo from here, let's say something didn't work out, you can change your sketch and you can unlock it here and you can relock it. But just keep in mind when you do unlock it, you're gonna have to pay those tokens to rebuild the brand kit. Okay, so if you go back here, so yeah, so this gives you a good idea of how the exploration tab works. And then in the brand kit, you actually have a few cool options here. So one is you can download all your files and it's going to put it all into a zipped file for you, and you can use it, share it, bring whatever you want to Figma, and keep editing there, or any other area you need. And then, yeah, so some of these, you know, there's a few options. So let's say you want to rebuild this logo, you know, there's a button here. You can rebuild this specific logo. Also works on the symbol as well. So you can regenerate the symbol, or let's say you uploaded a file or whatever the reason you want to upload your custom, like a separate mark for this. So when you do that, it's going to update the marks in the thumbnail in there. Adjust the colors. You can unlock the colors as well, and then relock them in the exploration tab. And here you can also add, if you want to edit this, you could do gradients. So there is an option for gradients as well. Here you select your fonts, your typography for the brand itself, and then the extracted assets show up here with the saved mockups. And then here, the eyeball icons, this is our showcase. So you can actually, when you click this, you'll see a beautiful presentation of all your selected items that you have. And let's say you don't want some of it, you can go ahead and remove it. So let's say this one's redundant. I think one of them was upscaled, so we can remove that one. Let's go ahead and remove this one for the showcase. And everything else looks pretty good. And you can go ahead and shuffle it, so just to kind of get a different view on it. And then you can share your link. So when you share your link, you're able to, let's see if we can do this. This is what it looks like when you share the link with somebody. So just a beautiful presentation of your whole brand. All right, so that's basically Branda in a nutshell. Feel free to explore some more. We have other projects that we've been building out as case studies for this, and we're getting really great results overall. Definitely love to see what you guys are building. And also in the showcase, you do have another thing is you can hide things. You can see the ones that are hidden. You can change the background color, and you can turn on and off the stroke. Sometimes it looks better without the stroke. But yeah, so let me know what you guys think. If there's any questions, any other concerns or issues, or just general feedback, we're always open to hear everything. And, you know, excited to see you guys use it. So thank you for watching. Take care and have a great day.